So I've noticed on YouTube there's actually some interest in other people that like seeing other people's computer setups and all that sort of stuff. So um, this is my first video, kind of introducing my setup. It started out as a stock Acer Predator AG3620 UR308. Now this is like the first decent computer I've ever had for the current time. Usually, I had like hand-me-down computers, or if I bought new, there was like budget computers, and it got me hooked kind of on PC gaming. Previously, I'd been mainly a console guy, mostly probably because my computers sucked and they wouldn't run games very well. But this is actually a decent machine. It came with OEM version of the NVIDIA's GT630. For those that don't know, the OEM version of the GT 630 comes, I believe, with a higher bit bus or something to that effect that makes it a little bit better than what you might buy aftermarket from Gigabyte or what have you. So, I've pursued upgrading this computer. It's now kind of, even though it's more powerful, it now, as you'll see in a minute here, is kind of more of like a, I don't know how to describe it, well, I'll show you. As you can see, I don't even run a side cover on it anymore. There's XFX 850 watt power supply. It's running a 3770 i7 clocked at 3.4 gigahertz, and it's just a stock clock. I don't believe this motherboard BIOS allows for overclocking, and honestly, that provides me enough power as is. I don't feel any need to overclock. Down in there, you can see it's a GTX 670 FTW, or for the win, video card. It's clocked at about 1200 megahertz. We have this 120mm LED fan blowing down kind of on top of the graphics card and onto the CPU. I also have, if you can see, two non-LED 122mm fans on a low setting. These are all on low setting, blowing across the graphics card. I saw about a 10-degree improvement. The reason I did this is even with the side cover off, my card, according to Precision, was running would top out about 75 degrees in the most graphics intensive stuff, which would result in a slight throttling down. So now with those fans, it stays, even pushing it to the max, it never gets above about 64, 65 degrees Celsius. And notice a slight improvement in CPU temperature as well. And I also have this computer over here. This is my XP gaming rig. This computer has a Core 2 Duo, 3 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. See. See there, 3 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. It says it's got 3 gigabytes of RAM. It actually has 4, but as many of you know, XP only recognizes 3 gigabytes of it. And in Windows side, we only see this one 1 terabyte hard drive. However, if we go to, oops, I don't know what I did there. If we go to the disk management utility, if I can find it, where did it go? Ooh, could have sworn it was in here somewhere. Maybe it's the utility manager, I'm not sure. Okay, apparently that's the wrong thing. Having a total brain fart. I'm not used to XP as well as I used to be. This. Well, the main point of this anyways, I have another hard drive, another 1 terabyte hard drive, but it's formatted, and the format for Linux, I have Ubuntu Linux on the other side of this machine, and I'm still not seeing. Alright, I'll just be honest with you, I forgot where disk management is, even though I just used it to enable the hard drive before. What I'll show you though is you can shut this down. And also, part of the reason why I decided to kind of start documenting, and sharing my experiences with computers is videos from Road Geek and whatnot. And so this is, if he ever sees it, this part is just more shown that one of my favorite computers is one of his favorite computers. As you can see, that is a Dell Dimension 2350. My particular one is running, I believe, a Pentium 1.8 gigahertz. It's got a gig of RAM and I believe 160 gigabyte hard drive. And what I'm going to show you now is the other half of my so-called retro performer computer. See if it boots up here. Then I'll keep hitting escape. Instead of doing the traditional boot menu, I just kind of did it like this. So it says loading boot menu. And I'm going to select the second of those clone of hard drives. And we'll go with Ubuntu generic. And we'll let Ubuntu load up. To show you the probably my third best computer is that Windows XP computer is probably that Dell Dimension 2350. I'm logging in, and I'll see if I can bring that up for you real quick. Turn this monitor on up here. It's normally one of my several TV monitors. It's a 29-inch Sharp LCD. So we'll turn input to PC, and we'll turn this power the Dell Dimension on. There you have it, the Dell Dimension. It's powering up there. Now you can see that on the also on the other XP computer is now Ubuntu, and it's a pretty nice operating system. Has tons of free software, and I have free software off of the Linux store. that I thought looked interesting, as well as many of my Steam games. I don't have them all downloaded yet, but many of the Steam games I have also run on Linux. And up there you can see the dial dimension works. And hold on a minute, I gotta... Sorry, but I know my desk is messy. I never get around to cleaning it. I actually gotta get the mouse for this up off the ground here. So, here's the Dell Dimension 2350 running. And close that out. And close that out, and we'll go to start. See if I remember correctly what this had. Now, it's been a while since I started it. Now, this Dell Dimension, as I said, has a Pentium 4 1.8 gigahertz, 1 gigabyte of RAM. I actually found this computer by the side of the dumpster here in the condominium complex I live in. And so it was a free find. Well, I shouldn't say free because it didn't have any RAM in it. But I picked up a gigabyte of compatible RAM off of eBay. It was a Corsair brand, I believe, so it wasn't a bad brand either. And it's been working great. I haven't had any freeze-ups or anything of that sort. So that's kind of an introduction to my computer systems, and actually have another desktop of the XP era that's a little better than the Dimension 350. It's an HP computer that has a Athlon XP processor, I think around 2.2 gigahertz or somewhere around there, and it's actually got a dedicated AGP video card, whereas the Dimension is just integrated graphics. I don't think it has an AGP slot, it's just PCI, so you can't really do much for that. I also have two other XP computers in gaming cases that I would like to probably downgrade one of them to Windows 98 and have a Windows 98 gaming machine again, because one of them was originally a Windows 98 gaming machine. And at one point I got the bright idea to upgrade that computer to XP to use it on an LCD out in my living room out there to run Netflix, and I regret doing that because now, as you know, Netflix runs on all different sorts of consoles, and I even have like a little these little Roku boxes now that actually are my favorite to use for Netflix. And future videos I might go into a little more how-to upgrades on computers, how to install, let's plays, and you know, if you're a troll, I would say that you're the one that needs to get a life, because you're the one that has nothing better to do than try to bother people like me and Road Geek and UXW Bill. So, you know, you have these comments for people like us, but yet you're the one with nothing better to do than watch our videos and make comments about them. So that's what I gotta say about that. And so, you know, why even bother commenting unless you have something productive or kind to say, or a genuine question or something along those lines. And I think this is going to wrap it up for my first video.